Hey, what's up? It's Chris now with Seven Sounds Productions. In this video, we'll talk about recording. So we'll go over your audio source. What are you recording? Where is the sound coming from that you're trying to record? How you intend to record that source? Well, is it a microphone, or is it an instrument, or a mic that has an instrument that plugs directly into a direct box or right into your audio interface to record into your computer? Your plugins and things like that, just managing the audio level so that when you record, you're not trying to fix so much stuff in the mixing process. Like if you get a good recording, then your mixing process is a lot easier and more enjoyable. Hey, quality and a lot better quality of process and end result. So for starts, before we even look at Cubase, we're talking about recording, right? And I'm gonna grab the camera again and see you're listening to me through this microphone right here. All right, so I'm a popper stopper. And then, between me and the mic, yes, here we go, it's good. Yeah, the microphone, which captures the audio, the popper stopper, which stops plosives and hard P's, T's, and breath sounds from coloring the audio with unwanted noise. I mean, something, if you want that, you can keep that, certainly do that. But this little thing right here is what helps prevent those plosives and unwanted noises from going in. But if you want to keep it, then, by all means do that. But most of the time you want this there. So I'm the source, the thing that's being recorded. You have a kind of a filter to help, prevent unwanted recording sounds, noises. So anything that's unwanted in a recording, it's called noise. So from this point on, I'll say noise, prevent noise. And then you have your capturing device, which is this microphone, this Audio-Technica 2035. I'm sorry, Audio-Technica 2035, going into the mic cord. We already talked about that in a previous video, into my digital audio interface, right? All right, so here is the first point of potential disaster or irritation, right? Whatever it might be. Is this little knob right here is the gain. And what we're talking about now is gain staging. So I'm talking into the microphone, and if I have this thing cranked, you see it's turning red. Red is bad most of the time. Pen red is super bad, and you don't want that, okay? So that means I need to turn it down. So it's good to do like a couple of practice talks or practice runs. If you're singing, practice a whole verse at the volume you intend to record it at. Or if you're talking, like, do a quick practice run through of your outline, and just like you're recording your podcast, and pay attention to what color this your audio interface's indicator LED light is turning. If it's orange, it's probably getting really bad. If it's red, it's really bad, right? And red means it's probably going to be distorted going in. So this is about a good place for where I am right now. I have my face really close to the microphone. So before I had it super louder because I was much further from the microphone, sitting back in my chair. So I was, hey, let me crank it up. But just know, when you crank this gain up, the microphone is going to also pick up the room ambience more. So the louder it is, the more room reverberations and just noise, background noise, is going to get picked up by the microphone. So, when you're recording your voiceovers or vocals, you want it to be, about right there, right? Like that's probably pretty good for this, right? It's not in the red. On my screen in OBS, this is how I'm recording my videos. It's not bad, right? But if I crank it up again, you can see it's cranked up there bad, and I haven't even, and it's red at the bottom, so it's definitely coming in too hot. Now it's green again, and it's green here. So first point of failure is, the first point of gain, increase or reduction, this gain knob, right? All right. So if you're hearing distortion in recordings, check here first. Number two, for the sake of this video, I would check this next, right? Is how does this look? Or when we're looking at Cubase, we'll check that now. Check, 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 check. There we go. So it sees me, it's coming in. Let's just increase that. And it's not bad at all, right? It's not super high, but it's not pinning red, right? But if I crank it up higher and louder, that is terrible. You can hear it's distorting my headphones. Yeah, that's not good. So we'll turn that down. Check, 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 check. Right there is about good. And, so if I was recording a song or a voiceover, or something for sound design, this would be pretty good. Lower when it comes to recording, you don't want it too low, but you definitely don't want it distorting unless that's the effect you're going for. Sometimes you can do that on purpose because you want it to distort. That could be an artistic decision, but that's intentional, right? Check, 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 and let's also test this out so you can hear that in a different way. So, and we'll do a quick recording. Testing, 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 testing. Yeah. Hey, check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is really loud. Really, really loud. Let's get it back down to where it probably should be, about right there. And you can see on the screen how it went from where I was before to super low. So if I'm recording vocals for a song, I would be looking at this too and say, oh, based on the way this wave file looks, I probably need to adjust it, right? So, and that would be that, right? And then now I can play it back. Testing, 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 testing. Yeah. Hey, check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is really loud. Really, really loud. Let's get it back down to where it probably should be, about right there. And you can see on the screen how it went from where I was before to super low. So if I'm recording, so you see that right there. Now, fortunately, it didn't really distort going into here because I think between the digital audio interface and Cubase, it was okay. But sometimes, it can be slammed so loud, and if you see this is really bad if you're recording. Like if you see a wave file looks like that, that's no bueno. So, when it's set to 0, right? So this wave clip gain is set to close to 0. All right, there we go. And then, and if it's too low for you, starting out, then just you can always turn it up after you record it, right? So if I was doing vocals, I would start to normalize this stuff. So I would, select a portion right here. Oh, will this let me do that? I don't even know. Let's see. Do we have access? Here we go. So gain, here we go. So I hit that, and then I can say, hey, turn this portion up 4 dB. And then I can listen back. I can addition it. Hey, that's not bad. No clip detected. That's good. So this is cool. It's auto committing. Can I turn it off in this one? Okay. So there's all kinds of things you can do. Normalize. So say I was like, hey, I want this to be averaged across the board. Then I would so you have to just kind of the peak level, right? So that's pretty loud. So this is a little bit different from from the pro version, but you can still do editing right there. So, you know, even though I recorded it low, you can just turn it up. Testing. Yeah. And see, it's not peaking here, so that's good. If it goes over 0 and to red, then that's not good.
Really loud. Let's get it back down to where it probably should.
So even though, so I normalized it, which means like even stuff that was lower got turned up, and stuff that was higher probably got turned down a little bit to kind of give an average volume across the board. So, you know, and that's pretty much that. Another thing to think about too is once you start using plugins, right? So limiter. So check out this limiter. So this limiter,
you can see on the screen.
Say you had trouble controlling peaks and stuff like that, you can either go in and manually turn the peaks down, or you can use a limiter and it says, hey, anything that's above this right here, it's going to turn it down. And then this controls how fast that happens. So it's not reducing anything. Now it's reducing 9 So every time it goes over a certain amount, it's going to turn it down.
Really loud.
See?
Let's get it back down to where it probably should be about right there. And you can see on the screen.
And this
from where I was before to super low.
That controls how fast it lets it go. So it grabs it and turn to my screen. So what's happening is that the audio goes in to the plugin. The plugin says, hey, it's too loud. Grab it and don't let it go past this. And then when I control the thing that said release, you know, it grabs it and tells it how long to keep holding, right? So if I do a long release, then it pretty much just keeps grabbing. But if I do a short release, then it grabs and it lets go really fast, right? And that's what you want to do to try to control peaks and, you know, just things that are clipping here and there. We're like, just that one little part. Then maybe a limiter might be a good choice to choose to fix that little peak problem. Or, you know, a better way would be just to go in and look at it and say, listen as you're listening, and it's like, oh,
yeah. Hey, check. 1, 2, 3.
All right. So say that T sound is too loud.
1, 2.
I would just turn. It's not too bad, but say it was, you know, I would highlight that T sound, go to audio editing, and then process gain. We talked about gain earlier, and I turned it down. Let's say 7 8 dB. It went down, and then we go back and listen to it.
1, 2, 3.
So the sound is still there, but it's a lot lower. It's not less harsh.
1, 2, 3.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
There you go.
1, 2, 3.
All right. There you go. You always save when you do big edits. You always save. Another part of gain staging to think about is. So we just did that. Does it show? Yeah, it shows the output. It's not peaking here, which is good. You know, so say I want another thing in there.
And you can see on the screen how it went from where I was before to super low.
Now I just boosted that thing so loud, and now it's back in the red. That's terrible.
Wave file looks. I probably need to adjust it, right?
So you got to make sure that, you know, when you add plugins, it's the same deal. Like, you don't want it going into the red. And then say we have just, you know, you have a session and now you have 1, 2, say all these different tracks had sounds on them. So we'll just play all this together. Just make sure this is going to the right area. Group. This is going to the right area. Group. And this one is going to the right area. Group. All right. So now all this audio is playing together. This track this track, this track. So 1, 2, 3 tracks. So all these volumes together are also equal a volume, cumulatively, an accumulative volume. So you also need to watch for that too.
Testing, 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 yeah. Testing, 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 yeah. Testing, 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 testing,
And that would be seen in our group channel. So all those together are here. So you need to make sure that these aren't clipping. This one isn't clipping. And if it is, then you need to go back and either turn all of these down together or turn whichever one is the loudest one, the offended. You know, we'll pan that a little bit and pan that a little bit.
Testing, 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 testing,
right.
testing, 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 testing.
Let's look at this again. Yeah, not bad. So still under 1, but if it was louder, like say it was peaking. Okay, here we go. I was trying to create a situation that we need to turn stuff down. So this is just maxed out right here. That's not good. So now it's like, hey, we need to start turning these guys down. I can see it here. Still peaking. All right, so right here, this audio out says the clip. So this is like a little area that shows you when you have clipping.
Testing, 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 testing,
right.
Testing, testing,
All right, looks good.
Testing, 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 yeah. Testing, 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 yeah.
All right, another area to check that out is the mix console. So here you go, your stereo out. So this is your final output. All this stuff goes through, it's being played to this channel right here. So it's not peaking, not bad. What if it was? It'd be up in the red, and then this little peak indicator right here will say, hey, it's peaking. All right, so that's gain station recording, just basics of how to record. So we talked about gain staging, how to get the audio in at a good level. We talked about how to make sure the levels aren't clipping. So in individual channels, you want to make sure it's not clipping in this one channel alone. And then you want to make sure that's not all the channels together aren't accumulatively clipping in our group or in our master. And the main way to see it all together at one time is through this mix channel, this mix page. And you can do your mixing right here. It should always be at 0. Never turn this one down. If it's too loud, you turn these ones down. Okay, these other ones down if this is too loud. Testing, yeah. And then that what you just heard is like a little demo I made of music, and I used MIDI instruments to make that. So let's silence those because I had to do gain staging for this stuff too. So I have this cello playing in the background, and it's a little just thing I programmed. These are the notes right here, and I can see the volume right here. And it's the same deal. So even within this instrument right here, I want to make sure that it's not peaking, because if it is, then it's going to come out not good, unless that's what I want it to do, right? And then where is it going? It's going to my group, right? Gain staging and just leveling is so important. Whether you're doing music or you're doing a podcast, and you have whether you have one track or 100 tracks of audio playing, each individual one matters to make sure it's not peaking. And then the cumulative group of the channels together, which is why I put it through a group. Make sure that they're not peaking together all as one, and I just turn them all down, not the group, in order to make sure that the group isn't peaking, right? Because the problem is not the group, the problem is all those together, which means, hey, they're surpassing the level of volume that is pleasant, or the target volume. You know, if it's a podcast, there are certain and music, and in most audio, TV, video, there are criteria that broadcast associations use to say, hey, your music or your audio cannot be louder than this, or it must be louder than this, like this is too low, or this is too high. So there's a range, and there is a professional optimum range you want to make sure your final product is at, in order to sound just as good as everyone else, but also not to sound, you know, unpleasant or just or unprofessional, you know. So just understanding what those specs are, and knowing how to control those things is super important. So all right, this is where I'm going to stop. So have a blessed day. Peace.